Jitendra Davda and Prakash Narottam, driving an unusual choice of vehicle, the Toyota Marino, would come fourth to record their best result after 3 outings in the car. Gurmeet Tethi and Dipinder Kalsi cracked their exhaust on stage 1, losing desperately needed power, but they were still quick enough to claim second. They then lost a minute in service, dropping them to third.
Today we weren't that bad off. We broke an exhaust in the first section, which gave us loss of power. It's good to know that we were lying second, so stage times weren't that bad.
Although the car is a proven winner, it took time for Joel Mushiri and Riaz Ismail to get used to the handling of the Toyota Levine, which had more power than they are used to. They went off losing what could have been a win, but coming second was a good start for their championship hopes.
The car is getting on high speed than I'm expecting, because the rev counter, it goes to 6,000, yet the other one was going to 4,000, and I was feeling I was so comfortable now doing the 4,000.
James Karimi and Kimeli Korir were making a return after a long absence, during which they concentrated on making the Golf more reliable. All the work paid off, and both James and the car were in top form. They were fastest on 2 of the stages and amongst the top 3 on all the others to take the win by nearly 2 minutes. The victory gave the crew renewed confidence, and the win was like a whole new start.
To get this trophy, yeah, it's quite motivating, yeah, for myself and for the crew. But the car, for the first time in 3 years also, it's behaved.
7 of the 10 cars entered completed the course, although the competition had only been amongst the top 3. The times for the others included extensive service delay penalties, although Adnan Suhail was well out of place in 7th. The final placings reflected the opening standing on the championship board, with James Karimi at the top, 4 points ahead of Joel Mushiri. The main championship contenders continue to be split into divisions based on the stage times achieved in 2010, adding another trophy to go for, as well as setting a benchmark for individual goals. There were 12 crews competing for the Division 2 honours, but by far the quickest were Hardik Ressi and Ravi Soni in an Evo 9, who firmly claimed a place in the top 10 right from the start. Said Hamad and Victor Okundi always set their goals high, and more often than not achieved them, but not on this event. The traction control between the front and rear was not working, restricting their attack, and they fell out of contention. Having rolled on their debut outing, Onkarai and Supi Soin desperately wanted to record their first finish in the N12, restraining the urge to explore the car's limits. They headed the Cabras Sugar team, and whilst they did finish, they had backed off too much, and will certainly be looking for a higher placing than 19th in the future. Taking 5th place in the division were the Mombasa-based crew of Naushad Kara and Adnan Din, also in an N12. They were off their normal pace, but with the rally being a test of top-end speed, it had been a whole new experience for them. They finished 14th. The 2 Toyota GT4s driven by the Chana brothers were within a minute of each other's times, but it was Jaswinder and Ravi in car number 25 who were trailing. But it became academic when the engine blew on stage 6. Jasmeet Chana and George Joroga in number 27 had their own agenda, carefully choosing their lines through the corners and over the rough, taking advantage of the acceleration of the car on the straights. They were 4th quickest in the division and came 13th overall. With new suspension fitted on their Evo 7, Charles Hinga and Norris Ongalo were more competitive than ever. They put in an impressive performance, but still had more in reserve, choosing not to take risks, finishing 12th and 3rd in the division. After a disappointing season in 2010, Izzar Mirza and Zahir Shah are committed to making amends this year. The Evo 9 has proved to be reliable in recent rallies, and Izzar was at last exploring the car's potential. They were not far off the pace setters, eventually finishing in 10th to be second fastest in Division 2. They had been swapping times with Jasminder Burridge and Guy Deklever, who were driving an Evo 6. It would have been an interesting battle to see to the end, but fuel pump failure put the Evo 6 out, leaving the race for another time. Taking the Division 2 honours by the clear margin of 4.5 minutes were Hadi Qureshi and Ravi Soni. They were well amongst the Division 1 crews, making their mark on stage 7, where they set the third fastest time on their way to finishing 7th overall.
It's just, I just don't have the confidence. I can't commit into places where I should commit. And you know, as soon as you gear down, you're losing a lot of momentum. And that's what this game is all about. Keep the momentum up.
On the division table, Hardip leads by 20 points from Izzar Mirza, with Charles Hinga in third. The remainder of the field were battling it out in Division 3, including a mix of two-wheel drive classic cars, many of which were faster than their four-wheel drive counterparts. It's in this division that those taking up the sport are placed before moving up the rankings. Paras Pandya with Roy Mackenzie are still considered newcomers, although they already have a season under their belt. Experience gained has seen them get quicker and quicker on each event, and it will not be long before they consider moving to a more powerful car.
Slowly we are improving. Even our driving is improved. We are doing quite well. We are doing good times. But we are still a low budget team, you know, nothing major. Nothing like that.
Edward Maina and Tom Kimondo have made an appearance in a host of rallies in past years, but have yet to make their mark. They were out again, and it must have been rewarding that their car remained reliable to the end. One car that didn't get to the end was the familiar Ford Escort of Aslam and Ashad Khan. They were going so quickly that Ashad was caught out in reading the notes, and they hit a ditch, ending their rally well off the road.
I had it marked on the previous page, says double caution. I just said double caution and turned the page, but just couldn't read the blind ditch. In my Halda, I have a speedometer, which gives me the speed. We're doing about 170 kilometers an hour at that time.